In every large organisation, like every big firm, every civil service department, the armed forces and so on, there must be hundreds, even thousands. If all the homosexuals were to leave their jobs simultaneously, the economy of the country would be thrown into something like chaos. In Britain alone, there are at least 1 million men and 1 million women who are homosexual. Now, for some reason, the law takes an entirely different attitude toward the two sexes in this matter. Between women, homosexuality is perfectly legal, but between men, it's a crime, rendering the offender liable to several years of imprisonment. There are only half a dozen countries in the world in which it is a crime, but for some reason, Britain is one of them. So what's it like, then, to be a male homosexual in Britain today, whose only choice is between a lifetime of complete sexual abstinence or being a criminal?
Pretending the whole time, guarding your language the whole time. I feel that to a certain extent homosexuals can be recognised by what they say, even when they're discussing perfectly ordinary topics. Therefore, I guard what I say, even on perfectly ordinary topics. I guard what I say the entire time.
How do you think homosexuals reveal themselves when they're talking about ordinary topics?
Perhaps in the assumptions they make about their future, which are going to be different from heterosexual futures. I make deliberate effort in my conversation, sometimes, to imply that marriage is in my future. But talking at ease, I might give away the fact that, in practice, I know it's not going to be any part of my future. I might make some remark which shows I take it for granted that marriage, children, perhaps even a house are sort of something I know are perhaps never going to happen to me. And that is possibly a giveaway.
Did you find it very hard to come to terms with the fact that you are homosexual?
Yes, from about 16 till about 20, 22 or 23. The whole of that time it was associated in my mind with guilt, sordid matters, elderly, unpleasant men. It was in no way associated with reasonable, mature, normal, ordinary, pleasant people.
What happened to change this?
I met somebody who was reasonable, ordinary, pleasant, mature, and normal, and who was queer.
Yes, attention. To help carry on our important work, I want you to join the secret squadron and wear this official badge and have this secret decoder.
Do you regard yourself as being exactly the same as everyone else except in your private sex life?
Well, certainly, yes. I don't think there's a typical human being. Similarly, I don't think there's a typical lesbian. I wish to be judged as a human being, not as a lesbian. I don't think the fact of being homosexual should be allowed to rule one's life completely and be the dominating factor in everything one does. I think one should be a whole human being.
3 months ago, we devoted a This Week programme to male homosexuality. But by confining ourselves to men, we were dealing with only half the problem. The word homosexuality is formed from the Greek word homos, meaning the same, and it means to have sexual relationships with someone of the same sex as yourself. This exists among women just as among men. Women homosexuals are often known as lesbians, again from the Greek island of Lesbos, where in ancient times the great poetess Sappho and a number of other homosexual women were known to live.
Well, it's really that I want to love and be loved by another woman.
How can you find such a woman?
Well, that's the difficulty. In a way, it means that I have to keep making friends with people because I can't find out unless I make friends with them. And then, if they are lesbian, there's hope for me. But even then there isn't hope unless they happen to take to me.
Can you tell by looking at a woman whether she's lesbian?
Not at all.
You think that's a complete myth?
An absolute myth. Because I've been looking out hard enough.
His name is Pete Drake. He got the brilliant idea one time to make his steel guitar talk, and he actually does it right now with a beautiful song, Forever. Pete Drake.
So, what did they say?
What did who say?
You know, them.
Well, they seemed concerned for your health. Mostly mental.
Oh, God. I knew that they wouldn't want to know.
Well, we can't hide forever. You can't hide forever.
But for now, Liz, okay? Pretend that everything's okay. That I'm okay.
For how long?
Until we're accepted for who we are.
But what does that mean for me?
What does what mean?
If I'm stuck here with you forever, then what does that mean for me?
If you leave and they know and you aren't here to lie to them and they find out, and then I could go to prison.
But where does that leave me? Sat here with a homosexual husband, unable to find my true love? The woman that was made for me, that I was made for? That's not fair.
You're right. That's not fair.
You don't want to die.